Kayfabe was a way to show respect to the audience and respect your own business. It was a way to protect you.
But to be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, we are the generation. You make your rules, and we will break them.
Wrestling Smart Marks casual fans. I am Mr. Richard Moon.
I'm Kayfabe AJ.
And this is the Kayfabe Av
Podcast.
But this is the podcast this time.
It's all live.
Yeah, well, we all live.
Alright, and this week we pretty much gonna break down this past week of wrestling.
Yeah, man, we got a lot to happen this week. We got a lot to cover.
We have 2 Ring of Honor shows that happened last weekend.
Yeah, we Ring of Honor show. We got a New Japan show. We had the Super Showdown in Australia.
That just happened yesterday?
It happened yesterday. Yeah, man, that was a big show. So let's kick it off with this. Before we even get into the Ring of Honor and the New Japan and the Super Showdown show, we're not gonna have 5-star matches on here. We're not gonna do our rating system by 5 stars. We're gonna do our rating system by the what did you name it?
The 316 rating system.
Nice, the 316 rating system.
And if you don't have a clue what that means, let's run through it for them. So
run through it so people know what the
when the match is the lowest of the low, super trashy, we're gonna give it a good 1 star on the ostomy.
Does it look like I care? Do you care? Tell me, do you care? Do you care? Do you care? Do you care? What?
You definitely don't want a 1 star rating.
Want the 1 star
Austin's gonna ask if you care or not.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, by the way.
Yeah, and for a 2-star rating. Don't piss Austin off.
That's one thing you don't want to do.
And for a 3-star match.
As you know, you start gaining favor in the Book of Austin.
And when you get a 4-star match in the Book of Austin.
What? Oh, okay.
And when you meet, and when you reach the pinnacle, the top of the top. What? I said the top of the top.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
We're gonna give a big shout out to Stone Cold for providing those awesome sound bites.
Thank you for the star rating of Austin.
Just being a legend in his own right. Definitely a lot of material to work with.
Alright, so let's kick it off with this Ring of Honor show, Death Before Dishonor. We had a big 10-man tag team match between the Bullet Club and Chaos. Yo, there was a lot of mess ups in this match. A lot of things going on in the Bullet Club. I'm pretty sure we'll see it played out on Being the Elite. There's a big spot where Cody hops out the match. Hops out the ring, he misses. Then the best friend comes, dives on him. Hangman Page hits a shooting star press on him. Then Marty Scurll goes for his patented spot, and then boom, super kicks Adam and Page. A lot of things happen in this match. A lot of mess ups going on between the Bullet Club. Then later that match we had the Bullet Club ended up winning that match, and later that night we had Will Ospreay versus Jay Lethal, which was a really good match. I mean, this was a really good show, but unfortunately,
yeah, I definitely got to see that whole Will Ospreay Lethal match.
It's a good match.
Definitely good back and forth.
Yeah.
At some points, I thought Will Ospreay was actually going to pull it off.
Yeah. It was a really good show, but the crowd was a little dead for some other match. I mean, all the matches were technically good, but I don't know. For some reason, the crowd was a little dead until the Bullet Club got in there, and Chaos and the Will Ospreay and Jay Lethal.
Do you think people are getting a little bit tired of seeing Jay Lethal in that spot?
No, but I mean the crowd was alive for him. It was throughout the opening card and like the other matches on the card. They were just kind of quiet, and it took away from it. because
that's weird. Well, Ospreay had a big weekend.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
he went for the championship against Jay Lethal, and then
on Sunday,
the very next day, was it the next day?
Yeah, it was on Sunday. It was Sunday at the New Japan show. He lost again to Marty Scurll at Fighting Spirit Unleashed. So I mean, he had two good matches, but where does Will Ospreay go from here? I mean,
Well, I feel like Will Ospreay is just at the beginning of his rise, as Jay Lethal kind of fades into that spot of his reign where it's looking like he might have to drop soon, or that's a possibility he might drop soon. I think Will Ospreay is a good chance at grabbing that spot from Jay Lethal.
Yeah.
He's been working into the heavyweight division since about last year. You know, he's finally gotten to have his shot. I don't think this is the first and last time. I think this is just the first of many matches and going for a title.
all right. So let's move on to this Fighting Spirit Unleashed. The Young Bucks lost to the Gorillas of Destiny. The Young Bucks lost to the Bullet Club. That's what they claim. They claim that they're the Bullet Club and that the Elite is
Yeah, I personally I don't think I'm gonna refer to the Elite as Bullet Club anymore, because I think they just fading away from that, and the true name of the Bullet Club is gonna go to Tonga for sure.
Yeah.
Being the longest member of the original Bullet Club all the way through, and he's trying to keep to that true nature of the original vision of the club. I think it only makes sense that they actually won, and they actually went over on the Bucks.
Yeah. You know, it's. I mean, I'm not sure if anybody says this anymore, but there was a lot of the criticism of the Young Bucks was that they're just spot monkeys. The funny thing is when you watch the Young Bucks, they're the most old school wrestlers out. Matt Jackson, he got he got a back injury at Wrestle Kingdom all the way in January. He's been selling this same back injury.
Is he still selling that?
He's still came back in this match. They did a spot where they both did backflips, and they did they do the double backflips, and they do a double kick, and they did a backflip, and this back kind of seized up on him, and he sold that through the entire match.
It might be a little true to life, because the Bucks been around doing their thing for over 10 years already. So
yeah, it might be playing some real life.
It might be that time for them to slow down a little bit, maybe switch up their style, kind of drift away from so many spots, doing high flying moves, and
yeah,
I feel like they're gonna start growing into a different style soon.
Well, yeah, and the good thing about the Bucks and all these guys is that they've been working on their characters, because you're not gonna be able to wrestle a style forever.
Yep.
So their characters are already established, but in this match, they definitely Matt sold his back so good. And a lot of times it was Nick 1-on-1. To me, Nick has the best hot tag in the business. When he comes out off that hot tag, he comes out just. Yo, we gotta get some fire sound bites next one. We gotta get some fire, some shooting stars or something like that.
Yeah,
we gotta get that, bro. That Nick Jackson got the hottest hot tag in the business. But they were going for the Meltzer driver to finish the match, and Tama Tonga got in the way and hit him with a stun gun in midair. And G.O.D. the Gorillas of Destiny took the victory home. But the opening,
and specifically, this was the Bucks are usually mostly Ring of Honor. Mm-hmm. The belts they won were the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, going into this match, the Gorillas of Destiny were cutting all these kind of promos on IG and on all their social media platforms. Yep. And Tonga was pretty much telling them, "You guys think you're heavyweights? You're new to this." And I think they kind of showed them in this match, you have a little bit more to come to really hit that tag team heavyweight division.
This was their first defense. This is their first defense of the IWGP Heavyweight Championship tag team titles. So yeah, the
I think
Tonga Low and Tonga
this match-
proved him right.
this match definitely had a lot of impact as far as the future of the Bullet Club, the impact that it's gonna have. I think coming out of this match, it benefited Tonga Loa and them a lot more than it would have the Bucks retaining,
Yeah,
because the Bucks have this countdown going on being the elite. They might be leaving as a group, and if that's something that's really gonna happen, then starting to shape people to kind of take over from them on the indie scene. And honestly, I think Tonga is long overdue for him. He should have stepped up to the plate and done this a long time ago. They've been building the elite for over a year now.
yeah. I honestly feel like Tom and Tonga should have really did a lot better in the G1 Climax. I mean, a lot of their matches they ended up in DQs, and the Bullet Club was really back on like as they call themselves the OGs, interfering in people's matches and getting DQs. But I feel like Tom and Tonga should have did a lot more in the G1 Climax, because you're right, he is long overdue. He can go. He can go one-on-one tag team. So yeah, but the opening match of this New Japan show was Marty Scurll versus Will Ospreay, and these guys came out all for rip. I mean, soon as the bell rang, I'm pretty sure the first spot of the match was a Spanish Fly by Will Ospreay.
He does it beautifully too.
He just came right off soon as the bell rang, boom, boom, boom.
Honestly, I think, funny enough, we're gonna end up covering and talking about Super Showdown. I think the only other person that kind of combats his is Cedric Alexander. He pulled off a amazing Spanish Fly.
Oh, we'll
talk about that later, but
yeah, we'll definitely get to that match. That was a hell of a match.
Definitely a good move, and just one of the many high spots that Will Ospreay is known for. This guy's flipping all around the damn ring. He can definitely take off, and I think he could clear by about 2-3 rows of fans just from the ring. Like that guy's amazing. He's like a missile.
So that was the opening. He opened it up with Spanish Fly. Then Marty moved to the outside. Then he did a springboard dive to the outside. Threw Marty back in. His third move was a 450 splash. Wow, that was a second. These guys was going crazy. But even though through all that, Will Ospreay still ended up losing to Marty Scurll. That's kind of been the story between those two.
Marty's been on a roll.
Yeah.
Coming out of this, doesn't he earn a shot?
He does.
At the title?
He earned a shot for the junior heavyweight championship because Hushiromi got injured. He's the one that broke his neck.
Right, the belt's up for grabs in the tournament, right?
Yep.
So Marty Scurll definitely made his way to that final match.
I forget who the last guy he's facing. Oh my gosh, such a good wrestler too.
Marty in particular has been kind of like showing and proving.
Ever since
I think even a little bit before All In, but All In's definitely like the spark to get Marty off, and 3 back-to-back great matches, 2 back-to-back victories for him going into a IWGP championship.
Yeah.
And this is just another check for the club, for the elite.
Yeah.
Excuse me, the elite. So
I mean, but I will say that they do call themselves the Bullet Club Elite.
It's just Bullet Club is so stretched at this point, and if they are gonna leave, it just makes sense that they leave as the elite.
Yeah.
But
because New Japan Wrestling owns the name Bullet Club.
The elite faction of Bullet Club within Bullet Club, it's just been big weeks ever since All In. It's just been back-to-back big news, especially in Cody's favor. He has the NWA Championship coming out of All In.
We're gonna get to that. Oh yeah, matter of fact, speaking of that's a great segue. Let's segue into that match right now.
Who was he fighting for that? Juice.
For Juice.
Juice Robinson.
Juice Robinson. I said Nate Robinson. Yeah. Juice Robinson. Yeah, he fought Juice Robinson in a really good match. But it was crazy because the story going into that match was that Juice Robinson was gonna out wrestle Cody. And Juke Robinson was giving Cody a lot of slack because he wasn't in G1 Climax, and during that G1 Climax, Cody was actually recovering from an injury, and he was
I'm
filming
actually
Arrow.
surprised that Juice Robinson dropped the title so soon. I felt like
He was building a lot of momentum.
Yeah, I think he was building a lot of steam, and I don't know what this really does for Cody. Does Cody actually need this?
Yeah, I mean, this
He has
really,
the 3-man tag titles with the Bucks, right?
With the Bucks and Ring of Honor.
He has the NWA Championship. He has the IWGP United States Championship. He's a champion in 3 promotions.
I mean, why not?
Where do you go from here at this point?
Where do you go from here?
Well,
you challenge for the IWGP
You challenge Omega.
Championship.
So Omega has a match as the Golden Lovers with Ibushi against, who was it?
It was against Okada and Ishii. And that was Ishii. The story, Ishii beat Omega in the G1 Climax, and so he got a match against. In the G1 Climax, all the champions compete. So if you're the Intercontinental Champion, if you're the IWGP United States Champion, if you get beat in that tournament, that person that beats you usually gets a title match after. And Ishii beat Omega, and at that time in the G1 Climax, it looked like Omega was gonna run through the entire tournament undefeated. He was just running. He was the Trigger City.
V Trigger City. That should be the next shirt.
But Ishii, Ishii, the Stone Pitbull, knocked him down. And
So the Golden Lovers come out on the top of this match.
yeah, but the big tease was in this match, even though that's part of it. That's why I love in Japan. There's so many wrinkles in it. Ishii and Ibushi had a match a couple of weeks ago, but also this is the first time on American soil that Okada and Omega are going to be in the same ring at the same time. Like all the matches happen in Japan. This is the first time on American soil. So throughout the match, they would tease Okada and Omega in the match.
Oh, that's one thing I love. Them being in America for this, I was actually awake.
Yeah.
to half the
Oh
shit
yeah,
that was
because the
going
Cow
on.
Palace. Yeah. The Cow Palace. Yeah.
They were actually in Los Angeles, so just the time difference made all the difference for me. I actually got a lot of got to see a couple matches, got to see a lot of good highlights.
And JR was calling, and Kevin Kelly. So 2 former WWE guys calling a New Japan match.
So now, the Golden Lovers pull off the victory, and Omega's going for a promo.
Yeah.
You know,
Which he always does.
He usually
Ends the night
good
off.
night. You know, sends people off, and this time he's actually looking towards his partner, offering him a championship match.
Yeah.
1-on-1.
Yeah, he says that, he said they made a promise that they were never going to have the 1-on-1 match. Even though they had a 1-on-1 match in the G1 Climax, that was that's how they were just blocked together, you know what I'm saying? But they said that they weren't going to have another match. But Omega said, we got to break the promise. And as soon as he was about to challenge Ibushi to the match, Mr. Cody came and swiped the microphone
The
out
man
of
of
him.
3 promotions.
The man has
Just
titles
trying to
in 3
add more
promotions.
accolades to it.
But to get back to actually to piggyback what this does for Cody, he's the NWA World's Champion, and as that champion, what they did back in the day, traditional, and that's what Cody is. He's becoming more of a traditional wrestler. They will go around the world and wrestle.
The NWA title has definitely been in almost every single promotion
Yeah.
ever, almost.
So it's only right.
Especially in America.
It's only right that he goes around and
That lineage goes across all the promotions, all the territories.
all the generations.
If it's touched WWF, it's touched TNA. Actually,
It's never been defended in which is interesting. It's never been defended in WWE.
Yeah.
Dan Severn, remember Dan Severn back in the day?
Who?
Remember Dan Severn?
No.
Oh man, he was a legit MMA fighter. He would have been money today. But Dan Severn was the NWA world champion. He never defended it, but he had it, and it was on WWF at the time.
NWA is a little hard to follow. I don't know
That's because
where we can catch the actual tapings
For
or
all
viewings of.
for all fans that want to know where you can catch NWA stuff, YouTube, 10 Pounds of Gold. They did the best build up for Cody and Nick Aldis for All In. That 10 Pounds of Gold show was so good, and it's like, how WWE does like the 24.
Yeah.
It's like that in 15-minute increments. You know what I'm saying? They show Nick getting training and Cody training, what all it means to
You know,
Nick.
I miss
you know what
those
I'm
kind of promos and building up the matches.
Dude,
I think it made it all the more special.
It made it so
making it
special.
more real. See what work they put in to actually be fit for that match and getting ready for that match.
since we're speaking of
I
this
think
match,
we lost that.
We have lost that. We have lost. Sometimes they do it with the sit down promos, but they definitely, that's a lost art with the sit down promos and really just having that. Speaking of Nick Aldis and Cody, during that match that he had on Friday, that he also came victor. Cody had a big match this weekend. He won both his matches. During that big 5-man, during that big 10-man tag team match, Nick Aldis was on commentary and he was just burying Cody. He was just burying Cody like crazy. But during that match, he announced that. Let me get to the exact date. He announced that their rematch for the NWA World's Title is going to be a 2 out of 3. Is going to be a 2 out of 3's fall match. Yeah, Nick Cody and Eldest 2 is going to be a 2 out of 3 fall match on October 21st. But
Yeah, and Cody's actually making history too. I believe it's been what.
he's the first man to ever hold,
The last time the NWA title stepped foot in Japan was in 2013. So it's a good couple of years. He's making history doing that.
yeah.
And he's just adding to the legacy of what he's doing personally, bringing up the Rose name. He might be in the position to probably surpass his father as far as accomplishments in wrestling.
I mean, honestly, what they've done with All In is, like I said this to you plenty of times just talking, the Bullet Club, Elite, or you just want to call them the Elite, whatever, they are the real life NWO. Like I mean, as great as NWO was, as great as DX was, as great as all these other factions, nobody ever took their own money and brought out their own building and had their own event. NWO had sold out, but that was still Ted Turner's money. That wasn't Kevin Nash's money. That wasn't Hulk Hogan's money. That wasn't Scott Hall's money. You know what I'm saying? So that's why these guys, I think in a lot of ways, they're like,
So now the match going forward is going to be Cody Ibushi versus
that's happening.
Omega.
That's happening in a couple hours from now. Let's see what time it is in Japan right now.
And that's at the King of Pro Wrestling pay-per-view?
Yeah, that's happening in about 5 hours in Japan. Because it's 3 o'clock in Japan right now. 3 o'clock p.m. in Japan right now. We're recording this at 2 a.m. in the morning.
We'll give the results of that in our next week's show.
Yeah. And also what happened, big news in the wrestling world, we got a big return. I think we should. Yeah, man, Neville.
Yeah.
I think we have to RIP that name after this though. He's not Neville anymore.
Well, he's Pac.
It's Pac.
Pac?
Yeah, he's not Pac. Pac.
Pac.
Yeah, Pac. That's his original name. He went back to Dragon Gate.
He returned to Dragon Gate.
That was his original home.
Joining Red, making an alliance with the Team Red.
I'm pretty sure he's a leader. I'm going to go ahead and let me say that. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he came back and he's like the leader.
And then, speaking of returns, it's been confirmed that Rey Mysterio is going to return at SmackDown 1000 in a week. Is that
yes.
A week?
I think
2 weeks?
I think that's either 1 week or 2 weeks. Batista is also confirmed.
Evolution's coming back. Batista
Edge.
confirmed. Edge. I'm pretty sure we'll get something from The Rock.
Yeah, probably something. What else is going on in wrestling? I went to an independent show this week. I went to the Hog, House of Glory, which I'll reveal that later. Yeah, I'll reveal. Yeah, when things start happening with that, I'll reveal that later.
Yeah.
But, things above when people we got things.
Undertaker on a non-wrestling note. Undertaker pulled out an interview where he's talking regular, out of character.
I'm so glad you brought this interview up. Because it's a great
character, point. You actually get a feel for who he is personally.
It's not Undertaker.
Mark Calloway.
This is
This is Mark Calloway. It's about 45 minutes. Look it up on YouTube.
Look it up on YouTube. Because if you look it up on YouTube, you'll hear the interview. With Mark Calloway. So
how? On a 3/16 scale, how do you feel about that?
Pull up the soundbite. I might have to give that a, you know what I'm saying? Pull up for the soundbite. This is how I feel about that interview. You know, because I'm really pissed off because every other word that Mark Calloway, I'm not calling him the Undertaker because this was not the Undertaker. This was Mark Calloway. It was, you know. But he did make a really good point.
I think he was trying to also tone down for the sake of the interview the person who was interviewing him.
The person that was interviewing the pastor was such a mark. He was such a mark.
Yeah, he was.
He was such a mark.
Definitely.
Well, I would mark it out
But
too. It's Undertaker.
He was speaking real, like, you know, himself. And on top of that, you could tell that he was kind of trying to, I guess, reach a broader audience.
He was.
Like the people who really don't know wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So I can kind of understand why
Yeah.
he was taking him his time more to think about what he was going to say.
He was. I'm just giving him shit too because it was just kind of funny. But one point that Undertaker really did hit is that the pastor was asking him, you know, why they bring back older wrestlers so much, and it's for nostalgia and feel good. But one of the important things the Undertaker said was that they're not building up Undertakers anymore. They're not building up Stone Colds anymore. They're not building up The Rocks. And also, a couple of months ago, Seth Rollins was on Sports Center or Sports Illustrated, one of the two, and they were asking him about what if The Rock came back, and Seth Rollins was like, oh, that's great, I love The Rock, but how about, you know, we build up these guys, you know what I'm saying? Everybody always talk about being the next Stone Cold to being the next Rock. I want to be the next Seth Rollins. And the point of me saying all that is they're not building these guys up to be the next Stone Colds and the next, you know, Undertaker and Bret Harts and Shawn Michaels, you know, it's... And if you have the Undertaker saying this is not us, some marks on a podcast saying this. This is not, you know, Meltzer. This is the Undertaker, arguably the greatest of all time, saying you're not building guys up to be the next legends. This is why we're coming back.
I mean, the thing is, it also falls on some of the legends to know when it's time to scale back on their characters and scale back on their goals in WWE and kind of give back. That, and I think that's the biggest problem because, you know, you look at guys like Cena and, you know, Cena does give back and Cena has been losing 9 times out of 10 recently, but it took him too long.
Yeah.
By the time he started doing that, he buried half of the roster.
Yeah.
90% of the roster. He buried about 2-3 generations of wrestlers already, stemming from the end of the Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression Era, this little, you know, the reality era, if you want to call it, around the Miz championship win, and then he was still burying.
Of the world.
He was still burying people around CM Punk's era too. Nexus, you know,
he buried the entire Nexus. That was a great angle.
You know, and then it took CM Punk to try to even resurrect anything of the Nexus. Yeah. You know, so. It just took too long, and then if it doesn't take too long for them to give back, they leave us too soon.
It doesn't help that Cena's character is stale right now.
Yeah,
stale,
and
because they'll never let him turn heel.
I'll touch more on that as we break down the Super Showdown card.
We foreshadowed a lot.
But
of things.
Yeah, definitely there's a big Cena issue and. Yeah, let's Is
there any other wrestling news? Before we get down to the Super Show? We covered the New Japan. We covered out what's going on on the New Japan show that's coming up. That's happening in a couple of hours. The King of Pro Wrestling.
The Monday Night Raw and SmackDown go home shows.
There is something else. Naito is gonna introduce another member of LHA.
Oh yeah, that's right. Did you
see that? Yo, he cut like they.
See before Neville, before Pac actually returns to Dragon Gate, I thought they were gonna reveal him as the new member
That'd
too.
Have been dope. That'd have been dope.
That's the guy I had said.
But I feel like Pac is at a level now where he can be the leader of his own faction now. Like he can. That's what
he proved himself, and from the looks of it, he's taking that same energy he had as the king of the cruiserweights deal.
He is.
And yeah, it looks like he's gonna be doing some big things.
And I watched his match. He didn't. He's been wrestling this entire time. He didn't take any time off. He looks exactly the same. He's just crisp. He's moving the same. He's hitting everything the same. He looks He looks like a little bit smaller. That's all. Like as far as muscle wise, he's like a little bit smaller, but nothing. He still looks great. So yep, King of Pro Wrestling in a couple of hours, and
So Monday and Monday Night Raw, Tuesday Night SmackDown, SmackDown Live. They were the go home shows for the Super Showdown.
I thought there were some good go home shows.
I honestly, in the recent months, I feel like a lot of the go home shows have kind of failed in building up a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I think this card in particular was really built up properly over the last like month and a half. Even what was the last pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell? It was even being built up before Hell in a Cell. So
yeah, because you had Undertaker and Triple
going
H.
in, we had on Monday we had Ronda Rousey face Ruby Riott, which was a pretty decent match in itself.
She needs to face Ruby Riott more. She needs to work with Ruby Riott on the house shows. And the reason why I say that is because Ruby Riott is a veteran. She's experienced, and that's who Ronda needs to be in the ring with right now. She needs to be in the ring with veterans that can show her how to hold the whole match and start calling it in the ring instead of having everything scripted before. You know what I'm saying? Because Ronda's matches are essentially right now are all essentially the same. She takes 80% of the offense. She gets taken out all 80%. She comes back with the spot where you go to hit her, and she grabs you. She makes the face. She judo flips you a couple times, hits you with the suplex, hits you over for the armbar, and that's it. That's essentially all her matches.
Yeah.
And they gotta change that.
Well, yeah, before she ends up getting too stale to save,
Exactly.
And then not only that, she has to future-proof herself because she doesn't want to become another Asuka where she was so dominant and then when she finally loses, it's over.
That's WWE's booking though. I'm always gonna blame them.
Yeah.
I'm always gonna blame them because Asuka losing the streak should have not been the end. Like she lost the way they built it up. It was okay. Like it really didn't even hurt her the way she lost. It was the way they booked her after. Is what like, come on, like. Oh gosh.
Off topic.
God damn it, Corey Graves.
Shelton Benjamin goes on Twitter.
Uh-huh.
And he actually goes nuts and says like, I'm being overlooked. I need to shine more. He pretty much directs his anger towards Paige and tells her like, hey, it's my time to shine. And that's something coming up this week that was like, fucking finally.
Yeah.
Finally. Yeah. Shelton Benjamin coming back was a big deal to me. And I felt like we finally had somebody who had the athletic gifts, the high-flying spots, and the charisma to hold titles. And
they didn't push him.
And he was a WWE original. He started his little run in WWE, then branched off to the Indies, New Japan, and he's back now, and they have him in the back burner. So he actually, got a match this week, and he's actually was on TV this week.
That's good. That he should. Shelton Benjamin's great. He's part of the world's greatest tag team. He's part of the world's greatest tag team with Kurt freaking Angle.
Liv Morgan was cleared after that. That box segment with Brie, where she got kicked in the head.
They did a play on it in the match on the Super Showdown when she got the tag in. She stomped her like she wiped her feet off on the ring apron. Liv Morgan got in, and the first thing she did, you know what she did to Brie? Kicked her right in the head. Kicked her right in the head. So cause they never mentioned it on commentary, but they suddenly.
Brie was getting a shitstorm.
And I'm glad you brought
this whole week.
I'm glad you brought that up. Here's my thing. Here's my thing. First off, this is not Battle Arena. These kind of things happen. I'm not in any way saying that Brie Bella was really ever that great of a wrestler, but here's the thing. If you're gonna bring that kind of energy to Brie Bella, then you have to bring that same energy to everybody else because wrestlers hurt wrestlers all the time. Was that situation handled right? No, but come on, like I don't.
Yeah, but
I think that was unfair.
The thing is, I think people expect things to go wrong once in a while, but when you come off 3-4 major botches back to back, and you could have potentially injured yourself as well as the people you're facing, then it becomes a problem. So I kind of understand the backlash she got online. Should she received it as harsh as she got? Maybe not. But I also do understand the concern because it's been situations in the past, like what comes to mind, Randy Orton and Ken Anderson back in the days.
Yeah.
Ken Kennedy in the WWE. He botched Orton and it cost Ken Kennedy his job.
Yeah.
So someone like a Brie Bella, you cause a concussion, you're spilling over, out the ring, doing suicide dives that don't meet any requirements of a suicide dive.
Yeah.
You're spilling left and right. At what point do you stop and say, okay, do we let her continue because she's Brie Bella? Do we let her continue because she's one of the Bella twins? She's Daniel's wife. Is she getting special treatment, being kept in these high-profile matches?
Yeah, seems like it.
While botching left and right? So, it's two sides to it. Daniel Bryan came to her defense, shortly after, and he even admitted that he kicked Xiang in the face by mistake, and things happen. And I agree, things happen all the time. Seth Rollins gets a lot of criticism, and he has a meme. It's Rollins, it's Seth's fault, and he's gotten hard criticism for his botches, but his botches were like few and far in between, and the distance between the time frames of it was big. Brie was botching back-to-back episodes.
Yeah, she did.
She's doing double duty on Raw and SmackDown for no reason. Because we don't need the Bella Twins on Raw, and then have her doubling with her husband on SmackDown.
No,
we don't need it. We don't need it. And if she's botching this much, I feel like she does need to take some time, maybe go back to the Performance Center. Not as a knock, just as practice. Get in the ring with these young NXT dudes, get the ring rust off, come back. She did give birth. She did go through a body transformation. She's getting used to her new weight or whatever.
Yeah.
Trying to get back to her fit level of fitness, but I feel like she has they're giving her a little bit of special treatment.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I just didn't like the fact that I understand why I was coming for her, but like the way they were coming was like, stop, don't make it seem like nobody else injures anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like wrestlers get injured. You know what I'm saying? We've seen wrestlers injure other people in their entire career. So that's where I was coming from. But I mean, listen, in that match alone, she botched. The week before, the dives. Then she kicked.
And the dives were back to back.
And then the dives back to back. Then the Brie Morgan thing. The Liv Morgan thing. And then later in that match,
didn't she kick? Before that match, wasn't it Zelina or?
She really
wasn't it Zelina? Maybe she kind of kneed her in the face.
She kneed her in the face pretty hard. It looked like it. And in that same match where she concussed Liv, she really leaned in and hit. She botched the spot with Ruby. She went up to her and just clobbered her. And Ruby tagged her back for that one.
Yeah, if you go back in the footage, she definitely gave her a receipt for that one. And that goes to my point. It's different people. It's multiple times. It's consistent. Anybody else in the position that she was in would have gotten reprimanded. Probably would have got pulled off the card or lowered after the initial match happened. Mm-hmm. So we'll see going forward.
Yeah.
The Super Show happened.
Yeah.
Super Show. We'll see what happens now.
The Super Show. You know what? I think the Super Show I like the Super Show. I think it had some good matches. But I think the Super Show kind of falls on how you interpreted. We're going to start from the top.
But before we get to the Super Show, Monday Night Raw, one of the highlights of the show for me, probably the best reaction of the whole week. Kevin Owens and Elias.
Or the heat that they made.
I haven't heard nuclear heat that loud in years. I'm talking about since the Yes Movement started, and Daniel Bryan was in that Wyatt gear and ripped it off, got to the top of that cage, and I haven't heard a pop that loud since.
Yeah, that was pretty.
They were literally getting booed. Yesterday? Every single person in that arena was booing them for about 5-10 minutes straight. that it even felt awkward when Leo Rush came out to continue the promo.
Yeah.
It felt like they threw him out there to kind of hush the crowd and move things along. They had a promo to do, but I wish they would have kind of stretched it out a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah.
You put Kevin Owens in these positions to rile the crowd up, and you get him going. You just got to let him rock with it. The same thing, with The Rock himself. He gets the crowd going like that. He gets his extra 5-10 minutes of screen time. They push it for him. They definitely should have pulled the trigger on that and kind of ate it all up. Soaked in it.
That too, and Elias and Kevin Owens, they're just great guys, all right. They're just really great guys, all right. So you gotta just let them rock because they're just really great guys. But this good old, what really, this match made up for it. But that go home angle with Samoa Joe and AJ Styles.
Oh, I didn't really like the go home angle.
It was disappointing. It was super.
All of a sudden,
a
now AJ Styles is too concerned about his family to show up on SmackDown, but you can go fly all the way to Australia for the match.
Yeah,
I don't know. Coming off of the week before where Joe shows up at AJ Styles' house and threatens to terrorize his family, he should have been coming in with guns blazing on SmackDown, especially the go home show to the Super Showdown. He should have came out guns blazing, trying to, get his hands on Samoa Joe, all out brawl. This is one of the times you empty the locker room and you have them try to hold them back and you don't let them touch until Super Showdown.
It would have been special on SmackDown because they never do it on SmackDown. They always do it on Raw, but they never do it on SmackDown. So it would have felt really special if they did that. If I were booking that, I would have had I would have started off the same way where AJ Styles cutting this really somber promo saying I really had to make sure my family was okay, but
so
I have to get my revenge. And he would have been sitting in the house, but that wouldn't have been his house. He would have been sitting in. It would have been Samoa Joe's house. Joe.
That would have been awesome.
Samoa Joe would have walked in. They would have been brawling in there. Camera goes out. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, that would definitely been awesome.
Then we get here, but I think this is Shall we get to the Super Showdown now? The Super Showdown.
Yeah, I think we could hit that point.
Yeah, so let's as we round about third, get to this good old Super Showdown, which aired at 5 a.m. Which you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you, I was up for it. I was up watching Super Showdown.
I was definitely not having any intention on staying up for that.
I watched
it when I woke up 9 o'clock in the morning.
I watched the first 10 minutes of it, and then I fell asleep.
See, if they're gonna be doing these shows, God bless the network that is so easy.
Yeah.
And this is why I wish that New Japan and Ring of Honor and these places, well, more New Japan, got access to a network or some streaming service that
New Japan has a streaming service.
But it's not as intuitive at all compared to WWE Network.
They've improved it. I'll say that it's a lot easier.
I haven't used any app that they may have, but the way that it's not your account, it's through the website, right?
Yeah.
It's just not as intuitive, honestly.
No, it's not.
They need an actual app like the WWE Network where it just categorizes everything, their shows, their events, by year, date, everything, and make it simple for the fans. So somebody, who's not really in the know of New Japan has that access.
That's true.
And has the easy way to go through their history.
That's true.
So
it is a little convoluted.
If the Showdown fell into that category for me, I'm not staying up to 5 in the morning.
Oh,
yeah.
I was.
So God bless the network that we actually have it, and I can just play from the beginning at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. No. Yeah. Absolutely. It opened up with the New Day, it wasn't the pre-show, but it felt like it was.
Did they have a pre-show?
No,
I felt like they went straight into the pay-per-view, right?
No, there was no pre-show, but it felt.
But it was still 4 hours.
Yeah.
The event was 4 hours long.
It felt like it was a pre-show. This match was good. They did some new spots. It was a good match. New Day retains the belt. The matches that stand out for me are the New Day versus the Bar. AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe, Buddy Murphy versus
and Cedric Alexander.
So
highlight of the night for me.
That's definitely the most athletic match of the night. for me personally, the best match of the night was Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles, and that's because of the ring psychology for the WWE Championship. The story they've been having. I feel like this is the end of their feud because Samoa Joe ends up tapping at the end. I don't know what else you can do with this feud, unless you add, and Daniel Bryan's number one contender. Maybe we have a three-way.
Well, let's rewind a little bit. Daniel Bryan, of course, was going one-on-one with the Miz. Miz has been in the hot streak.
Yeah.
Back-to-back wins over Daniel Bryan.
Yep.
When I originally watched the match, and the small package came out of nowhere, and the match was over, it felt like, was that a mistake?
I thought it was a botch. Yeah.
Did that really just happen?
Sure did.
It didn't really translate well on on the playback, but Miz did post on Twitter a picture of the small package and his shoulder was up, so that storyline definitely can be further.
You posted on Kayfabe
At Kayfabe AJ on Instagram.
Yeah,
you can definitely check that out.
Senseless plug. Yeah.
Cheap plug.
But
yeah, so Miz posted it. His shoulder was clearly up, so that storyline continues, and I'm interested in that. As far as Samoa Joe goes, I really don't know where he's gonna go from here because, like I told you previously, going after AJ Styles home and that's like the pinnacle of what you can do to antagonize somebody.
Yeah.
What's next? How can you keep this going? You got your rematch. It's over. We have the winner now. So now, what? Joe just falls to the wayside. I don't think Joe falls to the wayside, but Joe, you add Daniel Bryan into the mix, spice things up, but Joe doesn't. It kind of seems like he doesn't have a right to claim. He doesn't have a right to rematch. Also, with the
but WWE booking. WWE booking. They're going to continue this feud anyway, even though it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
What pisses me off about this? This match was about like the fourth or fifth match in. It wasn't even close to the main event.
Yeah, I mean that's what they.
There was about 3-4 matches after that.
You gotta be used to that now. They don't. WWE Championship doesn't.
On a pay-per-view where the Universal title is not being defended, the WWE Championship needs to be the main event. No
if
questions asked.
If Triple H is wrestling, you know who's main eventing the show.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a Triple H decision.
And you got to think about it. They've been building the Triple H and Undertaker matchup since before Hell in a Cell. This has been one of the most well built up matches of the year in such a long time. Forget of the year in a long time. If WWE would take that same energy that they use to build up Triple H and the Undertaker for the WWE title,
yeah, because that was good storytelling.
Great storytelling. That's what that whole match was about. All about ring psychology. It was smoke and mirrors. But another match. So let's before we get to the highlights, let's talk about the Becky Lynch and Charlotte.
Yeah, that's actually where I was thinking about going to after that Miz Bryan kind of confusing ending.
Yeah.
Now the actual match between Becky and Charlotte was really good.
Yeah.
Becky the ending, and this is.
Yeah, Becky was
this
trying
is
to work
what keeps
over,
pissing me off. Becky is not a heel. You cannot book Becky as a heel in this current state. The fans are not having it. We're not stupid. We know what we want. You want people to boo anybody? It should be Charlotte. Charlotte needs to get booed. So the ending of this match was a disqualification. I think she got put in the. She got put in the figure eight.
Yeah.
Right. She grabs the belt and starts smacking Charlotte with it. Gets herself disqualified.
Yeah, she grabbed the belt to try to walk out.
With Becky's new attitude, it makes sense. But come on, we know Becky could get this done without these tactics. She's not a true heel. She's never gonna be a true heel. She is an anti-hero. She is, like you kind of refer to her, she is the female Austin right now.
Yeah.
You let her shine. You don't put her in a position where she's losing that way. She can lose fine, but losing memorable way, honorable way. She doesn't need these chick victories. Pull the plug on Charlotte being her face. Turn her heel. They should have did the double switch when Becky originally won the title. Hell, they should have did the switch at SummerSlam when Charlotte won the title. So, this feud has been interesting because Becky's been literally carrying every moment with, her really digging in and just going for the bell and taking her shine, taking her moment. It's been about 2 years already, long overdue. So I'm glad she's doing that. The way they're pulling it off, the fans are gonna be behind her regardless. But before it starts affecting their view on Becky, they need to realize she is not a heel.
I mean, it seems like at this point that the fans are just gonna cheer for Becky anyway. This is why I don't like to really cover WWE like this, because I just end up sounding like a negative Nancy. Because every scenario ends up with WWE. I understand the story you're trying to tell, but just do it better. And that's exactly what they should have done in this match.
WWE gives
just do it better.
WWE gives you a lot of everything. They piss you off, they make you happy, and I think one of the high notes was the Buddy Murphy winning in his home country.
Oh, the crowd popped hard.
The payback for
hard
going through NXT, being a tag team champion, the injuries back and forth with his him and his tag team partner, and the ups and downs, him leaving NXT, going to 205, dropping the weight, getting in the best shape of his life.
He's a juggernaut now.
He gets to go in as the challenger. He gets to walk out in his home country of Australia as the champion. One of the first Australians to actually have a championship in the WWE.
Yeah.
Besides Nia Jax, who was Australian born.
Yep.
But big accomplishment, a lot of good spots. This was.
You need to go watch that match. If you have not seen that match,
this was definitely one of the best wrestling matches, and I'd actually probably give it a 4-star. So.
Give me a hell yeah! I said, give me a hell yeah!
I mean, I absolutely agree with you. It was a really good match. Arguably the best match of the night. It was. It just shows you that they need to showcase 205 live even more. If they were smart, what they would do is have a rematch for Buddy Murphy and Cedric Alexander, but build it up on Raw and have their main event be on Raw. But why showcase your other shows? Anywho, but see, this is why I don't. You see, I end up being a negative Nancy when it comes to WWE. I would end up always being negative.
See, 205 Live is getting the shine that they've been wanting recently, and I think moving it to Wednesdays before NXT just reinforces the fact that 205 Live is a show to reckon with. So I think I won't be as negative because they've actually been trying their things.
Yeah, because
on that note, as far as repping the other shows, you can't really say that because now we have Drake Maverick, who's 205 Live GM.
They don't ever talk about it.
He's the manager of AOP now. Leo Rush. No, they definitely did. They promoted Leo Rush's upcoming match with Noam Dar that happened already, and while he was managing Bobby Lashley. So they are integrating the cruiserweights on Raw. They're not having their own cruiserweight matches, which at this point kind of makes sense because they have their own show for that to showcase that. But yeah, they are trying. They definitely are trying to do more with the cruiserweights.
It's about damn time because they put on some of the best matches, and soon we're gonna start. Soon I really want to start covering more 205 Live and NXT, but that's for the future, and we are here in the now.
So the Shield versus the Dolls of War, Braun Strowman, Drew McIntyre, and Dolph Ziggler. I didn't get to see the entire match, but I heard it was one of the good spots of the card. A lot of back and forth between them, and they're still building on the fact that maybe Dean Ambrose is gonna turn heel. They did allude to it.
That was
Shield at the end of the day won, and they stuck together.
That was good storytelling. What they did with that was the best parts of the match. The best parts of the match is when they were teasing if Dean was gonna save. There was a spot where Roman was going for a Superman punch. Dolph Ziggler moved out of the way. He ended up hitting Dean Ambrose. Then at the end of the match, Braun Strowman was going for, I'm pretty sure, to spear Dan Ambrose. Then Roman Reigns saved him and speared Braun Strowman through the barricade, which ended up saving Dean Ambrose, who got in the ring and ended up hitting Dolph Ziggler for a double arm DDT for the win. I liked the match. I feel like it dragged because it was just building up for a hot tag, and the hottest tag of the night was when he tagged in Dean Ambrose. But of course, WWE wants Roman Reigns to be the guy, so they built them up for the biggest hot tag.
That's not surprising.
Oh, not surprised. All the way in Australia, on the other side of the world, they still boo Roman Reigns. Just to let you guys know, they still boo Roman Reigns.
We touched on the Bella Twins and Rousey versus the Riot Squad, right?
Yeah, we touched on it.
Well, we didn't get to fully touch on it, but Ronda Rousey ends up winning the match for them.
With the double armbar.
Double armbar.
Oh, it's great. That was a great ending.
It was great, but that goes back to what we were saying earlier. I feel like Ronda needs to start future-proofing herself.
Yeah.
She can't keep armbarring everybody to death, and then she has nobody to fight later.
And they tease some of the Bella stuff that they might fight, but they didn't tease it enough for my taste. If that's what we're gonna do, they didn't tease it enough. One of my biggest issues with this pay-per-view too is all these matches could have been 5 minutes less.
And they should have gave that time to Ms. Daniel Bryan.
Exactly.
Really build that story up.
The Shield's entrance was longer than Miz and Daniel Bryan. Undertaker's entrance was longer than that. Which brings us up to the main event. Are we in the main event of this?
The only other match we didn't touch upon was the Iconics versus Asuka and Naomi, which I already knew that going in the Iconics were gonna win. It's their home country.
Are you kidding me? It's
their home country.
Yeah, that's what WWE always does. They always make them lose.
They
in their
wanted
home
to
country.
showcase their Aussies.
They always make them lose in their home country. I was surprised that Buddy Murphy won.
I just don't think Asuka and Naomi are a good fit. They're two people that have nothing going for each other right now, tagging together for no reason.
This is true. I think they actually
Naomi and Asuka easily should be in the running for titles.
They should. Maybe they might introduce this women's championship. Maybe women's tag team championship.
Oh,
maybe they won't.
So actually, two more matches. We didn't touch on John Cena, Bobby Lashley versus Owens and Elias
because nobody cared about the match. The only thing we care about is John Cena's hair.
So the match, I don't know if you agree, but I gotta give it a 1 star.
Yeah.
Do I know that? What? Huh? What? Does it look like I care? Do you care? Tell me, do you care? Do you care? Yes. Do you care? Yes. Do you care? Yes.
What? Exactly. Honestly, you know the match we would have cared about? Bobby Lashley and Leo Rush versus Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
And
I definitely would have cared about that match a whole lot more.
The only reason why they brought John Cena in is because we gotta remember this is Australia glorified house show. That's the only reation why.
And
it's the only reason why.
He pulls off the match, the win, with the worst move I've ever seen.
The 6 move.
This move, God honest truth, I feel like takes wrestling back 30 years, and it's as cheesy as Hogan's leg drop.
Some people will be really offended by that comment.
You think so?
Yeah, some people will say that. So that would be the
Hogan era.
80s. Yeah, 80s. Yeah.
Takes us back to there. It does.
Some people will say that's the best era of wrespling.
That era was unbelievable.
I'm not saying that it was. I'm just saying that
for what it did, bring the spotlight on wrestling. Yes, of course. But now we're talking about today's wrestling with the spots we have, the athleticism that's involved. Come on, I remember a moonsault back then being called the 360. In those back in the days.
Look at this move. Look at the he lands around his leg. I first thought it was a botch, but he did around his leg. It's great.
We're actually watching Super Showdowns on the AJ Styles Samoa Joe match
I didn't know that the first time. He landed around his leg. Oh, that's precision. Nice.
Going back to that comment, it does bring us back 30 years. Am I in 2018? Am I supposed to believe Hogan's leg drop from the 80s is still gonna pull off championship wins?
Of course not.
So now am I supposed to believe that John Cena's Hadouken punch or whatever he wants to call it can knock out Elias?
Yeah, they made Elias look like a real geek here.
Come on, it was horrible.
They made Elias look like a real geek. You know who's like a real geek too? I'm sorry, I'm going to jump back to this match, but they made Charlotte look like a real geek because the match ended through the DQ. Charlotte attacks Becky from behind. Becky turns around, ends up beating Charlotte up, and then walks out. Handheld, you're right. She attacked her from behind. If you're supposed to be a baby face and you attack who's supposed to be the heel from behind, and you still get beat up, you look like the biggest geek. Now, go back to this match. Elias has been on a hot streak, and then John Cena comes in with the 6-move Doom, which is not even a good move. It's really literally
horrible.
A punch.
It is
and
horrible.
then he makes Elias look like a geek.
Listen,
I don't understand it.
This move
I don't understand it.
makes Santino Marella's snake charming move seem more impactful. I believe. Oh, what did he call that? The Cobra. I believe the Cobra is more impactful than John Cena's stupid Hadouken punch.
And here was the common theme throughout the night: that all the tag team matches, except for the New Day in the Bar, all of them were just for the hot tag. The Bella Twins of Ronda Rousey versus the Riot. All it was just a hot tag for Ronda. The Dogs of War versus the Shield was the hot tag for Roman. This is just a hot tag for John Cena. Bobby Lashley's only weakness is his selling ability.
See, but with John Cena, it makes sense because like we kind of focused earlier.
He's flat. He's still.
Each
Even
other.
when he came out,
he has this contract going on with the movies he's doing. He can't even take the risk, insurance wise. Similar reason why The Rock hasn't been able to come back for WrestleManias and do certain things for WWE because of insurance purposes.
He got injured. That's what Rock messed up for everybody. He got injured.
Yeah, so
during that WrestleMania match,
which was amazing because he actually finished the match with a tour. I think it was a quad.
Yeah, that part was amazing. Not the match.
Something in the leg.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to the Cena thing, I just don't want to see it. I don't want to see it anymore. I don't want to see somebody who's busting their ass every Monday Night Raw getting the nuclear heat that they just came off on last Monday, and you freaking lose to this dumbass punch. Yes, it says back wrestling. Yes, it's unbelievable. Like you say, we have to suspend our disbelief in wrestling to actually enjoy it half the time. But don't make me feel stupid for doing so. This man's Hadouken 6-move of Doom punch is freaking horrible. It makes me question Cena as a performer. It makes me question his legacy. And focusing on his legacy, again, at the end of this match, you want to allude to retiring. Just go already. I appreciate what you've done.
Oh, we're gonna have that conversation. We're gonna have that for another episode.
That's gonna be a whole episode. Earlier we kind of focused a little bit on it, and I wanted to wait until this part of the podcast to actually focus on it. John Cena's becoming a problem. You're so stale that you're tarnishing the legacy you created, and he's gonna have one of the saddest retirements. No one's gonna notice. No one's gonna care that he's gone.
He's been teasing his retirement for the last year, so it's just like when you actually do, it's gonna be like, okay.
Not only that, they calling him Big Match John now, and he comes back as special. There was nothing special about this return.
There was
nothing at all.
Nothing.
It was a wasted spot. This could have went to anyone else but John Cena.
In his hair.
He should have hosted the Super Showdown, like you said, or. There
was no point in him being in his
just
match.
make a guest
appearance because he got on the mic after the match. First off, okay, he finally gets the hot tag to Bobby Lashley. Finally gets a hot tag to John Cena. And I said one of Bobby Lashley's biggest weaknesses is his selling ability, especially for a long time. Look at him. Look how jacked Bobby Lashley. Why the hell is a guy like that selling for 9 minutes anyway? He's
always been a horrible seller, though.
Exactly.
Just his facial expressions alone. Like, Bobby Lashley is an amazing athlete. He's done a lot, in his running Impact and stuff like that. But, dude, I can't believe his face.
Exactly.
His pain face and
so,
and just his acting in the ring.
He's not really good at all. He's a legit MMA fighter. Why you have him selling for 9 minutes? I mean, of course, everybody sells, but come on. You don't need him selling for 9 minutes. He's never been good at selling his career. Why you have him selling for 9 minutes? So all this, he's doing this big sell for the setup for the hot tag for John Cena.
He has just too much of that Wayne Brady nice guy face, and it's just not believable half the time. I can't believe when Bobby Lashley gets angry. As far as his run in WWE, I cannot believe anytime he's angry. I cannot take him serious half the time. Great athlete. Does amazing things in the ring, but not really believable
He can be. It's just he can be. It's it's the control that the WWE booking is putting on it. It's telling you to go
So
out
once
and
again,
act
this
like
is this was definitely one star. I kind of want to just drift away, and make it fade away and render itself obsolete. I wish Matt Hardy showed up and deleted the hell out of this match because it was worthless. It should have never happened.
Do I know that? What? Huh? What? Does it look like I care? Do you care? Tell me, do you care? Do you care? Do you care? Yes. Do you care? What?
So the main event is the last match to touch up on Super Showdown. It was Triple H with HBK in his corner, Shawn Michaels, and versus Undertaker with Kane in his corner. What are your thoughts on that match?
It depends how you want to interpret it.
I feel like for what it was a decent match. But everyone is aging. But they did pull out a good show.
Except Triple H.
It looks like he's getting better with age, right?
Yeah, Triple H is.
But this is a testament to what WWE's come from, where they're going with it, and I feel like they need to start focusing on the younger stars. If you want to bring nostalgia acts back, that's fine, but put them in positions where it's like little promos or bigging up the other people on the card. I don't think we needed this match for what it's going to do. I can't lie, the storyline building up, it was interesting. Where they're going with it, Triple H pulls off the victory, helped with Shawn Michaels from the side. Kane got involved.
So the end of the match ends with the referee is knocked out, and Shawn Michaels ends up hitting Taker with a super kick from the side, then hits him with another one from the other side that goes into a pedigree, and he finally wins over him.
So the win was actually pretty emotional, and I think that's where the success of this match it weighs, because once they actually Triple H got the pinfall, you can see Shawn Michaels like, finally, Triple H, you did it, finally.
Yeah.
And in retrospect, it's been 10 to 13 years since Triple H has got a pinfall victory over Undertaker, period.
True.
That's pretty big, especially considering they're the guys that's left. They're the icons of the Attitude Era that's left behind. So going forward, after this win for Triple H, they looked like they were gonna put it to bed, and this was the end. Triple H looked, sentimental over his win. He was showing like the emotion, like he finally did it. Undertaker and Kane show their respect for it only to last about 2 minutes.
Yeah, they after
Kane clotheslines Shawn Michaels.
They do the big celebration. All the fireworks go off. All each other grab each other's wrists. They're doing the spots where they're they all got their hands up for the crowd, and then they all put their hands down. Except for Undertaker does not let go of Undertaker does not let go of Triple H's wrists. Brings him in, tombstones him. Kane hits Shawn Michaels with a clothesline. Shawn Michaels goes to the outside. They clear out the table outside, and they do a double choke slam to Shawn Michaels on the table, setting up for the rumored match at Crown Jewel, the Brothers of Destruction versus DX. I mean, let's be frankly, let's cut it. Let's call it spade a spade. This is about money. This is about oil money. And that's what it's about.
That's really why this is happening.
That's why this is happening. And Shawn Michaels actually did something that wrestlers don't. He retired, except for Stone Cold Steve Austin. He retired, and he was going to stay retired.
The good thing about the way that they're doing this, even if it is about money, the good thing is that they're having Undertaker bring Shawn Michaels back out of retirement.
It's a good story.
So the person who he gave the respect, he's been retired for how many years now? He stood out of retirement. I'm talking about no match, no tease of a match.
Almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years on the sideline.
And actually, you know what I just actually found out today? That they wanted Shawn Michaels to work WrestleMania 30.
And he said no.
He said no.
Yeah, he said no because he wanted to keep that part of the storyline between him and Undertaker, keep that respect. That's why I'm not too upset that he's coming back. It's weird seeing a bald Shawn Michaels. It's weird. It's so fucking weird seeing this guy in the ring.
And I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I love the Undertaker. He's the reason, I'm a mom's favorite wrestler, which made me start watching wrestling. But I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I love the Undertaker. I respect the fact that he still wants to go in there and do it. But this is the first match that I thought about it before, but this is the first match I really sat there and I watched, and I'm just like, wow, Undertaker, you're old, dude. Like, bro, you're old. And I was at WrestleMania 33 when he lost to Roman Reigns.
And honestly, it's not even a disrespectful. We're not trying to come from a place of disrespect, because I've been feeling the same way ever since Undertaker versus Cena, which was a fucking dumpster fire of a match. I hated it.
It was the hits. That's all it was. The hits.
Undertaker's been looking sluggish. Undertaker's been looking old, and I've had this argument with I forgot who it was a few days ago. I don't know if you were involved. But I had the argument that, no, I don't want to see Undertaker lose his spark in the ring. I want him to go out with that glorious ending. The retirement match with the Hall of Fame. I don't want him to go out and tarnish his legacy, even though he's far from tarnishing his legacy as far as a performer. It's just not there. It's not the same Undertaker. And of course, the surgeries, and back to that interview that he did, out of character on YouTube. He did list the amount of injuries and stuff like that, but now it's like, okay, this, preserve yourself. Give us the glorious send-off. We want to give you the best send-off. If anybody deserves it, it's Undertaker for WWF. Ric Flair got the best send-off of any wrestler, period. Yeah. Undertaker deserves that. And before he hurts himself in the ring and really tarnishes what he's done, I think he needs to call it a day, and he needs to just focus on the behind the scenes, not be an in-ring performer.
Yeah. But Taker, he's the most respected man in the locker rooms. He's gonna go for as long as he feels. Honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and say I think this. If it was up to me, honestly, I'd probably give this match 2 stars. To be honest with you,
2 stars?
Yeah. Listen, I'm saying this. Triple H is great.
Take that back. I'm really pissed off.
It does piss me off.
I think me personally, I think I give it a 3-star.
Oh hell yeah!
Just for the pure fact that it wasn't a bad match. It shows that Triple H can still go.
Yes.
The storyline, is continued. It wasn't the greatest match, but it wasn't a horrible match. And just the story that built up in between, and the story going forward, the rumor match at Crown Jewel. And if the rumors are true, and Shawn Michaels is getting pulled into a one-on-one match against Undertaker, I think it'd be a perfect send-off. The way I want Undertaker to go out. If it's against Shawn Michaels.
If he actually retires, though.
I think Undertaker will do it. I think the reason he does these one-off matches, these yearly matches, or has been doing these matches here and there, is because he's building towards that retirement. And I think for Undertaker, it's gonna be final. When he says he's done, he's done.
I think he is too, but I don't think Undertaker's ever gonna come out and just say I'm done. He's gonna symbolically do it, just like we thought he did at WrestleMania 33, but then he came back.
There's no way Vince is gonna give up the opportunity to send off his most loyal person in the most glorious way.
He had an opportunity to send off in a glorious WrestleMania. Even though he lost, that was a glorious way. You know why? Because Undertaker may have not looked good in that match, but he was a warrior that went out on a shield, and that's the Undertaker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He did the strip tease. Everybody thought, I'm not calling the strip tease to be funny because it was an emotional moment.
Yeah, I think they should have definitely led toward the Hall of Fame this last WrestleMania.
And then he comes
instead
back.
of fighting John Cena.
And I love the Undertaker. You know what I'm saying? He can go for as long as he. But it comes to a point where I got to call it. This is what we're doing. This is our job. We're podcasts. We're commentating. And my comments on it is that he was sucking air. He just didn't. Undertaker looked old. He just didn't look good. I love the Undertaker, but it's just the truth. It's not coming from a place of hate. It's coming from a place of love, and he just didn't look good. You can see it. He was hurting.
And he's been looking like that more and more as the matches come and go.
Nobody beats Father Time.
I think if it builds up to this Shawn Michaels match at Mania and they both go out, Michael should get his win because it's the rubber matches.
It might be at the
two Undertaker 2, Shawn Michaels 0. So I think Shawn Michaels should pull out this win, and they should both ride off in the sunset. I did what I thought I couldn't do. I defeated Undertaker at Mania. They both go out right off in the sunset.
I would have done that, but I mean, yeah, the next year, the Dawn.
So, what would you rate the actual pay-per-view altogether?
I don't really think it was really that good of a pay-per-view, to be honest with you. I didn't really think it was all that good. I mean, they said they did 70,000. They didn't really do 70,000. They did 62,000, which I'm not knocking them at all. If you got a 70,000 seater arena and you do 62,000, that's fucking great. Okay, that's
probably
great.
Put it somewhere in the middle. I'll give it a 3-star, just because it gave us a couple of high spots. There's a couple of low spots, a couple of spots we didn't really need, but we got. It wasn't. It actually had a few matches that were pretty good, but this was finally a show overseas that actually held a little weight. Further storylines, continue storylines. So
It did.
I don't know if you agree, but I'm gonna give it a 3-star.
I would probably give it a 2-star.
2-star. So I give it a 3.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
And he gives it a 2.
Take that back. I'm really pissed off.
Yeah, and also honestly, it's really hard for me to watch WWE, and this isn't fair of me. I mean, it's hard for me to watch WWE coming off of Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Well, let me just say the New Japan Pro Wrestling. The ROH show didn't really do it for me, but this New Japan Pro Wrestling show is the matches were just, gosh, man, just so good. The storytelling was just so crisp, so good. I didn't think it was a bad pay-per-view at all. I didn't think it was a bad pay-per-view, but I just think there were just so little things that stood out to me. It was just, Cedric Alexander, Buddy Murphy, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe. I thought the New Bar and Shield was. I thought the
New Day in the bar.
I thought the New Day in the bar. Yeah, I thought the New Day in the bar were. It was a good match. I feel like it kind of been the same match on TV. The Dogs of War versus the Shield match really it didn't do anything for me. It was good storytelling with Dean Ambrose and Roman and Ziggler, but the match itself, Braun Strowman going to the top rope. Come on, what the hell was that about? What was
just a crash land. Yeah,
just a crash land. If you wanted to do that spot, you should have had the spot where everybody's outside and then he does it or something like that. That's what you want to do.
Especially a big guy like that is so rare to go on the top rope.
There was no Raw titles defended at all.
Yeah, at all. That's why I put it at a 3 personally, because a couple of matches were pretty good. The fact that it would have never got a 4-star or a 5-star because you got the WWE title in the middle of the card. No Raw titles defended.
No Raw. Shinsuke Nakamura.
Every time you have the Universal title not being defended, the WWE title needs to be front and center. It needs to be the main event. And if not the main event because they wanted to put this Undertaker match, then before
the Undertaker
match
and Triple H match would have got a better rating from me if it didn't go on for damn near 40 minutes. That match should not need to go on that long. That match needed to be 16 and a half minutes. The entrances itself were going to be like 20 minutes. 20 minutes. And it's just the truth. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's a long ramp. Undertaker has a slow entrance, and it's alright. It's like one of the greatest entrances of all time. This match needed to be 16 minutes, 5 minutes of flash with Shawn Michaels and Kane getting in. You hit your big spots, your big chair spots, your tombstones, your pedigrees, then you build for the next one. This match did not need to be that long. Because being that long, you expose their weaknesses. You expose Undertaker's weaknesses because Triple H is,
Yeah,
I'm not being a Triple H. Triple H can go.
Well, he's still in the gym like he's a full-time wrestler still.
Triple H can go. Triple H can headline any Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-view. Triple H is just ready. He might be getting ready for the elite. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? you know, like. You know.
Oh well, that also happened this week too. The elite teasing. With the countdown.
Yeah, we can talk about.
We kind of talked about it earlier, but the elite is kind of alluding to the fact that all 5 of them might, when their contracts are up in New Year's, end up in WWE together. Cody put it on. He said it in an interview.
He said in the post match.
It just might be possible.
In the post match where he beat Juice Robinson for the United States Championship, the IWGP United States Championship, he said it's pretty possible that the Elite shows up on Raw. Did you see Being the Elite this week or last week? Well, WWE came after Hangman Page. They tried to sign him.
I heard rumors of that.
He deaded him, and at the end of Being the Elite, Matt hands Adam a bag, and he's like, I don't know, some Martin gave it to me, and it's some new boots, because he's still walking around barefoot. They gave him some new boots, and it's a letter that says, if you're trying to be an assassin, you need to be more cerebral. And it says H. You know what I'm saying? So they're, jabbing at that. But the entire episode, you would hear like this random clicking of a clock, and then the countdown goes 2 months, 27 days, 4 hours, 57 minutes, and 17 seconds. That's when their contract is up.
And I don't think they're gonna do this big countdown thing just to say, hey, we're staying with Ring of Honor, or hey, we're gonna focus more on New Japan. I really think this has to be WWE.
Maybe.
If not, maybe Impact. Maybe they're trying to help Impact do their thing, but this has to be WWE. Like we said earlier, the Bucks are at a point in their career where they've been doing this 10 plus years, 10, 15 plus years. Their in-ring style has to change. Yeah, what better point in their careers to try this than now? They built up their stock. They are somebody outside of WWE. They're bringing stuff to the table to WWE. They got their Hot Topic clothes. Their merch is selling like crazy. They have the fan base. WWE would be only smart to capitalize and give them maybe not full 100% creative freedom, but to give them a little bit more leeways than some of the boys in the back, I think they definitely can pull it off.
Would it be interesting? Yeah. Do I honestly want to see it? As cool as it would be, as much as I would love to see some of those dream matches, right now, I don't want to see that happen. I really don't want to see that happen. I really hope that these guys are able to Voltron together, the Impact, the Ring of Honor, the NWA, the New Japan Pro Wrestling. They keep putting on these shows, these all-ins, and they just keep doing their own thing, because I feel like that just kind of sucks the fun out of it, to be honest with you. I really do. I think they should wait it out just a little bit longer. That's just my personal opinion. As men, I understand you're going to secure your family with the WWE. You're going to secure the ultimate bag with WWE.
You pretty much secure your future as a wrestler. Like I said, you live forever on the WWE network. It's just certain things WWE offers as far as legacy-wise that not really any other promotion can give. How many of these superstars from New Japan, after they retired, really kept that spotlight? Not many.
Yeah,
not many.
They're not there. They're trying to build to that now.
They're trying to build to that now, but let's be real. The Bucks are not going to be New Japan wrestling at the pace they are the next 5-10 years.
No.
That can't happen. In Ring of Honor, it just can't happen. Realistically, the Bucks are in their 40s?
No,
30s?
Yeah,
they're in their mid to late 30s.
No, they're in their early 30s.
No.
Yeah, those guys are young.
Let me see. I don't think they're that young.
Yeah, those guys are young. Yo, Nick is like a year older than me, and no. Matt is like a year older than me, and Nick is like 3 years older than me. Yeah, those guys are young. All those guys are young.
Well, you know what?
Even Omega.
Matt is the oldest one, and he's 33.
Yeah.
But
all those guys are young.
We're talking about 33. That's when most of these guys start hitting their stride. They're late 30s, mid to late 30s. Matt's already there,
The style they wrestle at,
and
They
all
haven't
the years that they've already been there, Matt's already in that point. You're saying to yourself the back injury and stuff like that.
but I mean,
I don't know.
Hold on, cover the mic. It's kayfabe, bro.
It might, you know, it might be, but might not also be. So
Nah, it's kayfabe. It's kayfabe.
you know, so these guys they said it themselves. They're not getting any younger.
The style they wrestle at, they probably have like another like 2 to 3 years of like really wrestling at that pace. But I don't think they should. I mean, but here's the thing.
So do you give it to the promotions that you've been giving it to for the past 10 years, or do you bring it to WWE?
I feel like I honestly feel like you do stay with New Japan and Ring of Honor because you're bringing them to this point where they're not going to be competition, but you're bringing them to this point where people are talking about wrestling and they're not immediately associating it with WWE.
See, but the Elite and the Bucks, they're bigger than New Japan. They're bigger than Ring of Honor.
And that's exactly
but
why
they're not bigger than WWE.
Exactly. I mean, at this point, WWE, they're the draw. I
feel like if that countdown
does,
doesn't lead to a WWE contract or jump ship, it should lead to their own promotion. It should lead to the All-In brand.
maybe it might lead to All In too. Maybe All In go. Maybe they go on tour. Maybe they go. I feel like
That makes sense.
I feel like they eventually should go one day, but I just feel like now, not now.
But me personally, I'm tired of seeing these guys join the WWE too late, or get the shine or the platform when it's too late.
Well,
look at Sting. Sting's still loyal, and look what he gave us.
These guys are young.
One good match, and the next match he's injured, gone forever.
But here's the thing:
rest.
these guys are nowhere near. The oldest guy is Omega, and Omega's only like 36.
But Omega being 36, even he has to slow down.
You got to think
at
about
some point.
AJ Styles at this point. AJ Styles is 42. AJ Styles put on his. Chris Jericho put on his.
And AJ Styles is definitely changed up his. He still does a lot of the high flying spots, and
But
he
he
still
changed
does.
it up.
But he has been changing up his style. He's not as high flying as he used to be.
Yeah.
So,
But these guys are a lot. My point is these guys are like Cody. Cody's only 33. The Bucks know like these guys are still, in a lot of ways, haven't even really hit their prime. Shawn Michaels didn't start having these.
no, Cody's in his prime now.
Yeah.
Omega's in his prime now.
Yeah, Omega definitely.
The
is in prime.
Bucks just started their prime.
Yeah, Omega's definitely in his prime.
And that's my point. I want them on the biggest show possible in their prime. Even if they give it a year, say a year contract just to try it out, see where they end up. They have the potential to revolutionize everything we're watching in WWE. And if this Saudi money is gonna get us more shows, more international spotlight, and now NXT's integrating UK. They're integrating a whole bunch of tournaments, divisions, and stuff like that in WWE. Period.
But it's just control.
Now's the time.
But it's control. It's control. And what makes the Bullet Club so cool, as we begin to wrap this up, what makes the Bullet Club so cool is those guys, the Elite, they get to be them. And we all know, going to WWE, the worst thing you can do is get yourself over.
I think WWE knows what they deal with. It's AJ Styles came in, he's completely himself. He knows what he brings to the table, and he works the WWE style, and he excelled in it. These guys are just as good as AJ Styles. They can do it. You're talking about a Zack Ryder, right? Zack Ryder built his own personality up. He built it up through his own show, Z True Hollywood Story on YouTube. He got the fans behind him. But let's be serious. Has anything in ring work wise, has Zack Ryder, even when they gave him that spotlight after he earned it, was he amazing in the ring? Was he really giving us
But
those
that was
matches?
never his thing though. That was never his gimmick.
But these are the guys that we get pissed off, build their own shine, and then don't excel. there's also reasons behind that.
I mean,
too.
Zack Ryder was always good in the ring, but Zack Ryder was never like we were never expecting Zack Ryder just to at the elite level. And I don't mean like the elite like the group
Yeah, I mean,
elite.
we never
like,
never expected him
elite.
to.
But he still puts on good matches, and I mean, here it is. If you got The Rock out there, and these guys are out there screaming, "We want Ryder," you give Ryder a push.
Yeah,
You give him a push. Like,
I
you
mean,
know what I'm saying? Like, you give him a
did,
push.
They did that, but the thing is, even Zack Ryder, he didn't build himself as a serious character or someone who should be taken serious. He built himself up as a comedy act. You build yourself as a comedy act, you get famous as a comedy act, you get put over as a comedy act, you're gonna be treated like one. So, and that's exactly what happened.
I feel like Zack Ryder at that
he got his United States title run at the height of that woo 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 stuff.
But look how they booked him though.
He got Icy Reigns.
They took it to him. They took it after him like immediately. As soon as he got the injury angle, they made him look like a geek. They gave him the belt and made him look like a geek. It's like just like you said, WWE will give you what you want in a real backhanded way. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because they don't know their audience. But that's another. You know, it's hard to say that with them making billions. And this we're entering to really. I think we should wrap this up. We're entering a real dangerous time in WWE because they're about to be making billions of dollars, and they don't listen to us already. So they're making billions of dollars.
I think we gotta agree to disagree on that because the WWE does listen, but they give us what we want too late, and that's kind of the point that I made earlier. They give us what we want too late. By the time they showed us the pinnacle of Daniel Bryan's run, he got injured. He went through hell. It stopped the flow of what Daniel Bryan was building all those years. And and sadly it happens with a lot of people. We get things too late. And that's why, to drive that home, I want to see the Bucks and them show up now before it's too late, before the interest dies down on them, before they can't go half as good as they go now.
That's true. Yeah. Even though I do think they have years of. I think we still have years of them at this elite level that they are. But the future next year is gonna be real bright. The future now is the present now is really good at wrestling. I think it's the best time in wrestling ever. Best time to be a wrestling fan ever. And as much as we would love to sit here and talk, we must bid you a farewell. Ladies and gentlemen, casual fans of Wrestling Smart Marks, goodbye. Mwah! And good night.
Kenny sent us home.
Good